Hi, I'm Nicole from Baby to Sleep, and I'm going to talk to you today about getting sleep back on track after the holidays. So going back to school, back to nursery, whatever it might be, and how we can actually get them ready for starting back at school or starting at school for the first time, and sleep in a better place. Because what tends to happen over the holidays is we let things slip a little bit, especially over the 6-week holidays. Anything where we've got a long period of time, where we've not got as much structure, we don't have to be up in the morning, and actually we start to let things slip a little bit. And that's completely and utterly normal, and it's completely and utterly fine, okay? So don't think it's not. Everybody does it. The sun's out, we want later nights, we might want to go see the illuminations in Blackpool, whatever it might be, and we just push ourselves that little bit more, and we push our children that little bit more, and we all enjoy a later wake up. So why would we not want them to go to bed that little bit later so we can get that little bit more sleep in the morning? Cue end of August or back in January after the Christmas holidays, whatever it might be, and suddenly our little one is going to bed at 9 o'clock at night. Oh, hang on a minute here, they've got to be up at 7 because they've got school the next day. That's not going to work. So how are we going to get them back down? Because actually their bedtime is 8 o'clock or 7:30, whenever it might be that's appropriate for their age, and we've got to somehow shift them to get back into rhythm. That's quite tricky, isn't it? Especially when they can tell the time. A trick my mum did when we were all little, obviously this was before we had smartphones and things like that that told us the time, just changed the actual hands on the clock and told us it was an hour later than it was because she wanted an early night. What had gone? We can't do that anymore though, can we? We can't trick our children in that way anymore. So yes, we've got to start working out how we can get them in a better place. So let's use the summer holidays, for example. 6 weeks is a long time, and we can completely and utterly reset our child's body clock in that time to go to bed later and to wake up later. Fantastic. No good though on a school day when it's sort of 7:30, 8 o'clock, and we're shouting them going, you've got to get out of bed, we've got to leave for school, because they've not gone to sleep till 9:30, 10 o'clock the night before. So what we're going to do is about a week or so, maybe a bit longer, but I think you can probably do it in about a week. We're going to start trying to gradually bring bedtime earlier, and we're going to start putting things in place to sort of start tricking that body clock a little bit and getting it to work a little bit more in our favour. So decide what time bedtime is, and it might only be 15 minutes earlier than it has been, and you might do this as a gradual thing, 15 minutes a night. So if you're talking bedtime's 9 o'clock and you want it to be 7:30, you might just do a shift, 15 minutes a night, 6 nights, and you're done and dusted, okay? Rather than doing big changes, because the last thing you want is to put them to bed on the school night, 7:30, and them just be lying there going, I'm not tired. Now what? Because then they're just going to be awake for a longer time, because they'll get used to being in that environment and being awake for a long period of time, and they'll probably actually go to sleep later than 9 o'clock. So we'll start shifting it. So it might be 8:45 one night, 8:30, and just bring it forward bit by bit. But what we're going to do is we're going to start trying to get that body clock to produce the hormone melatonin at a time that is much more suitable, okay? But the way that we can do that is actually creating the right environment. So what we don't want to be doing is having the blinds open, natural light blaring through, everything else, close to when bedtime's happening, because it's not sending the signals to the brain to tell it that it's ready to go to sleep. It's not telling the brain that it's got to start producing melatonin, which is the sleepy hormone. So we've got to start artificially helping it on its way, because melatonin only produces in dim light, and it also likes to produce around the same time every night. So I'll give you an example of how you will know this. If you think back to the days pre-children when you used to go on a night out, there would have been a time in the night when you would have started to flag, and that time would have probably been around the time you'd have normally gone to bed. And you'll sit there and you'll just go, whew, yeah, I'm tired. And it's normally because you're in a dark club or something like that, or a dark pub, and you'll start to feel a little bit tired. And then you go past it because you're on a night out, and why the hell wouldn't you? Absolutely, you then, and that's your cortisol kicking in. This is where babies and children become overtired. That cortisol kicks in, it's that second wind. So that's that melatonin, that's your body clock telling you that it's ready to go to sleep, okay? So what we're going to do is we need to get our children back into that rhythm. So we're going to close the blinds probably about a good hour or so before you've decided that bedtime is happening, okay? So if it's 8:45, for example, 7:45, make sure the environment is conducive for sleep and for producing the right hormones. Okay, so have that ready. And also a little trick, things like bananas aren't a bad one to actually put into place if you like bananas, because bananas actually contain tryptophan, which is a precursor to melatonin. So that's always quite a nice one to have before they go to bed. And it's also a relaxant as well, which is quite nice. Helps relax them to go to sleep. So separate thing, sorry. I always like to go a bit sidetracked when I think of something fresh that I think will be useful for you. So we're going to make it conducive for sleep. Now again, what we're thinking here is they're used to going to bed at a bit of a later time, so they've still got this excess energy that they need to burn off. So we're going to help them burn it off. We want them to be tired. Okay, so it could be flicking the music on and having a dance around the living room, or it could be having tickle fights or something like that, or big body play, whatever it might be, something where they're physically getting things out. The floor is lava, whatever it might be, just to try and help get rid of some of that energy. And then we want to start bringing those levels down. Okay, so it might be some colouring. It could be some reading together, whatever it might be. We're going to start trying to tire that brain, okay? So we're going to do things like that. We want to make sure there's no screens, by the way. This is, again, a really important factor, because all children now tend to sit there on their screens. The television might be on in the background. It might not be watching anything, but that television will be on. It might be that they're on their tablets, on their phones, and actually that blue light from those screens, that is an inhibitant of melatonin. So that's going to stop that hormone producing. So we want to get rid of any of this blue light as well. So actually, let's get rid of that and start doing some colouring, some writing, puzzles, anything like that, where we're starting to tire that brain out a little bit more. Okay, and then we can always sit together and have some snuggles or something before they go to bed. It's always nice if you can finish things where we're having some cuddles together. It's really chilled out. You might read a story together. It might be, if they're a bit older, you might have a look at some magazines, anything that they're interested in, but it brings some kind of connection to you as well with your child before they go to bed. If that's not what you do, if you're just doing your own thing for whatever reason, because your child's a bit older and they're just getting on with things, again, it's just about setting that scene. So they might sit down in a corner themselves and read a book, or they might go up to their room or something like that and sit on the beanbag, lower the lighting down a little bit and read a book or something like that in their room. Whatever it might be, we just want to bring those levels down and just stage it. So we've got burn off some energy, we've got mentally tiring, and then we've got some calm down and some wind down time, and then you'll get your bedtime routine sorted out. But it's just gradually shifting it. The other thing that you might want to start doing as well, or I'm very sorry about this, but you might find you need to start waking them in the morning as well if they've been getting used to waking up later, because if they're waking up later in the morning, they're not going to want to go to sleep earlier. So again, you're going to have to play this at both ends. So we're going to bed a bit earlier, we need to wake them a bit earlier, so we get them to the point that they're waking at the time that we want them to wake for school. I know it's difficult, it's horrible, especially if we've got used to our own lie-ins, having to set our alarms to actually go and wake our child up. Oh gosh, not something we'd be looking forward to at all. But you do not want that situation on the school day, on the first day of school, where you're all rushing around like absolute crazy lunatics because actually you've all woke up late. Have everything prepared the night before as well, the first day back at school. Have everything done, because the chances are the first day at school you'll be ready to forget something. So have everything done. The PE kit's ready, the bag's ready to go, the uniform's out, everything. So you're not stressing. So those are just a few top tips on getting your child ready for going back to school with sleep. Okay, and you can do this at any point. And again, if it is just a 2-week holiday, you could just do this in a few days, because things aren't going to have gone that crazy, and you know, readjusted the body clock that long in such a short space of time. So again, you might just do this over the last few nights before they start back at school, just to get things back into sync. I hope you found this really helpful. Sign up to the YouTube channel. You've got loads of videos on there that's going to help you with baby sleep, child sleep, toddlers, preschoolers, back to school, whatever it might be, holidays, lighter mornings. We've got everything on there. And if it's not on there now, it will be coming as well. And if you're subscribed to the channel, you will get your updates as to when the new videos are premiering as well. I look forward to seeing you all on the next video. And I hope you all had a lovely holiday, whatever it was that you decided to do, and that you enjoy some child-free time when they're back at school. See you later. Bye.